A very good evening to you. I hope you're having a fantastic weekend so far. You're just in time for TV47 weekend. We've got plenty lined up for you here tonight. Do send us your feedback at TV47 Kenya across all social media platforms with W2047 being our SMS line. But before that, let's take a look at tonight's top stories.
Mudomo. Alafu sasa mimi tutafanya na kwa nini hukufanya wakati ulikuwa huko?
Stop it. Uhuru tears into Ruto's campaign promises, tells him to stop lying to Kenyans.
Sasa nimesikia rafiki yangu Uhuru Kenyatta leo anaongea mambo yangu. Mimi nataka nimwambie rafiki yangu Uhuru Kenyatta, tafadhali my friend, mimi siombi kura yako. Mimi nakuomba tu kwa heshima. Wewe niwache nipambane na huyu kitendawili.
Ruto takes campaigns to Tharaka Nithi as Raila pitches tent in Siaya. 11 and 13-year-old boy arrested following a botched robbery incident in Turkana County. Also tonight,
people voting.
Police uncover a syndicate processing fake bulls in Umoja area after conducting a raid.
Welcome to the broadcast. Catherine Simalo is a sign language interpreter, and I am Mothoni Minor. Now, President Uhuru Kenyatta has launched a scathing attack against Deputy President William Ruto over what he termed as a sustained attack on the government he serves, saying he has failed Kenyans. The head of state has teared into Ruto's campaign promises, saying he will not deliver. Here is Mwangi Minor with more.
President Uhuru Kenyatta has yet again slammed his deputy William Ruto for what he termed as a sustained attack on the same government he serves, accusing him of abandoning his duty as deputy president. Kenyatta told off Ruto over his recently launched manifesto in his bill to occupy the house on the hill, terming it empty promises.
Ukienda huko ati ukiona mtu hapo akaona shida, mimi nitatatua hiyo. Kwa nini hukutatua huko mbele? Mwache kuniletea bana.
Kenyatta has castigated the second in command for issuing empty promises to Kenyans, saying he has failed Kenyans and does not deserve to lead the country.
Ndio mimi nastikitika hapo nikiona wengine mtu amekuwa huko amepewa kazi, badala ya kazi ni mudomo. Alafu sasa mimi tutafanya na kwa nini hukufanya wakati ulikuwa huko nini wewe? Hii mambo ya makelele kila saa, kichwa yako ni makelele huko. Watu waache upuzi.
In a thin-veiled attack, Kenyatta rubbished Ruto's bid to State House, accusing him of ever complaining and making noise every time, instead of providing solutions. Kenyatta says his deputy thrives in the past instead of focusing on the future.
Build a nation, you build on what you've taken. You take it forward. You don't talk about it because you're given responsibility to go forward. You're not given responsibility to go backwards. Kama wewe kila saa kazi yako ni kuangalia rear view mirror, huna chochote ambacho unaweza kuambia mtu ambapo pahali unataka kwenda. Kila saa ni kuangalia ule alichukua bibi yangu, ule sijui alifanya nini. Kama alichukua bibi yako si utafute mwingine.
In a quick defense of Agriculture and Cooperative Cabinet Secretary Peter Munya, who has of late been Kenya Kwanza's punching bag over soaring fertilizer and food prices, President Kenyatta fired salvos at Ruto, claiming that what Munya has done since he took over from his ally Mwangi Kionjori 3 years ago supersedes what Ruto has done while in government.
Munya miaka 3 amekuja amebadilisha mambo huko katika agriculture, amebadilisha. Hawa walikuwa huko miaka 8 walifanya nini? Kituambia watu hawajui vile wanasema. Hawa ndio hawaelewi.
Kenyatta appealed to Kenyans to examine leaders and vote wisely for a leader who will provide solutions and transform the country.
Lakini vile nimesema ni shauri yenu. Hakuna mtu analazimisha mtu kufanya chochote. Lakini fikirieni jameni, think very hard. Yeah. Ama ni namna gani wenzangu? Ama ni namna gani?
President Kenyatta was speaking at the Kenyatta International Convention Center, where he presided over the 100 celebrations of Cooperatives Day, where he underscored the critical role that cooperatives play in the country. Cooperatives who have performed exemplary well were also rewarded. Mwangi Maina, TV47, Nairobi.
Still on that rift, Deputy President William Ruto has asked his boss, President Uhuru Kenyatta, to keep off the succession politics and instead retire in peace. Ruto was responding to President Kenyatta's claims that he has failed Kenyans as Deputy President, urging the President to give him a chance to politically battle it out with his main opponent, Raila Odinga, without his interference ahead of the August polls. Paul Muniu has more on the unending feud between the first-in-command and his deputy.
Deputy President William Ruto has hit back at his boss President Uhuru Kenyatta over claims that his campaign promises are far-fetched and that he has failed Kenyans.
Sasa nimesikia rafiki yangu Uhuru Kenyatta leo anaongea mambo yangu. Mimi nataka nimwambie rafiki yangu Uhuru Kenyatta, tafadhali my friend, mimi siombi kura yako. Mimi nakuomba tu kwa heshima. Wewe niwache nipambane na huyu kitendawili.
Speaking in Tharaka Nithi during his tour of the region, the second-in-command castigated President Kenyatta over allegedly harassing him.
Kawaida si yeye angenisaidia kuomba kura, si angenipigia kura, lakini hiyo yote siulizi. Ile nimekufanyia, nilikufanyia kama muungwana, nilikufanyia roho safi. Lakini sasa my friend, wacha kunihujumu. Wewe, mimi sishindani na wewe. Sasa wewe unakuja kukombana na mimi ya nini?
He further criticized Uhuru for poking holes in the Kenya Kwanza manifestos, promising Kenyans that he will deliver all his promises if elected president.
Nasikia Uhuru Kenyatta amekasirika sana ati kwa sababu ya ile manifesto tumetoa jana. Kwa sababu ameona ile manifesto inaweza kupeleka Kenya mbele kuliko mahali yeye amefikisha. Lakini sasa my friend, si hata wewe, si Mwai Kibaki alifikisha mahali, si Uhuru amefikisha mahali, si awache mimi hasla nitoe hapa nipeleke mbele.
Leaders are present, including Kenya Kwanza running mate Rigathi Gachagua, attributed the harsh economic times to the handshake between President Kenyatta and Azimio flag bearer Raila Odinga.
What has happened to this country is by choice. Tulikupatia msaidizi wa kukusaidia anaitwa William Ruto. Alikuwa anakuendesha vizuri. Wewe mwenyewe ukamtoa. Ukaweka mzee ya miaka 80 akushauri. Sasa unaona ile shida tuko nayo kama Kenya.
With only 37 days to go to the next general election, Ruto has intensified his campaigns, urging Kenyans to rally behind his presidential bid.
UDA!
Paul Muniu, TV47.
Kazi ni kazi!
Thank you, Muniu, for that report. Now, Azimio One Kenya leaders today pitched tent in Siaya and Kiambu counties as they rallied Kenyans to vote for Raila in the August polls. Raila's campaign in Siaya comes amidst calls to edge out candidates who are non-ODM members, with the leaders urging residents to consider the three-piece arrangement while voting. Paul Kirobi has more.
For the third day now, Azimio la Umoja One Kenya presidential candidate Raila Odinga and his foot soldiers have propelled the Azimio la Umoja clarion call in his political backyard, Nyanza region. Raila's tour of the region come amid its rivalry between Azimio-affiliated parties in the region. ODM chairman John Mbadi has hit out to the independent candidates in the region for what he said is attempting to limit ODM chances of clinching seats in the region ahead of the August polls.
wan chama ka chama kikuketwa jawanya e sirikal ma wan mwaloso omiyo siaya ka go churu ne ODM Nyasaye med gwedhu.
Mbadi insists that after the August elections, all the party principals, including Uhuru Kenyatta, Martha Karua and Azimio One Kenya affiliate parties, will sit down and chart the way forward on how to run the government if Raila clinches the top seat.
Udhigo kura tariko chiko dwe mar aboro kendo wadhi rwako Baba State House. To kusetieko to ji dhi bedo piny. Ji dhi bedo piny, Uhuru bedo piny, Martha bedo piny, Kalonzo bedo piny, Gideon Moi bedo piny.
Tare sisi zote tutoke tuhakikishe kwamba baba amepata 100 kwa 100.
ODM boss Raila Odinga, however, rallied residents of Siaya County to vote for him as the 5th president of the country, saying he has a better plan for Kenyans. He took the chance to endorse Siaya Senator James Orengo to vie for governor position, while his brother Oburu Oginga was endorsed to vie for the senator position. Raila at the same time lashed at Deputy President William Ruto, accusing him of mudsliding him.
Owamodo ka olumo pudho lumo kete wiya. Ochal oredo na. Tabi angi ento thechre kamacha. Akoni ana warga kinyi okane muda layout.
Watapeleka Uhuru Kenyatta wakichaguliwa kotini. Hii ni waambie ya kwamba utachaguliwa na nani?
Bogus leader, you have no ideas. You are corrupt. Na Kenya inataka heshima. Kama Kenya inaweza kuchagua Ruto, dunia mzima itauliza huko Kenya kumetokea nini?
With less than 37 days to go to the August polls, a section of leaders allied to Azimio One Kenya coalition wants President Kenyatta to expose Deputy President William Ruto.
Yeye ndiye anastahili kuchunguzwa kwanza. Manake ile deni kubwa ya Kenya ilichukuliwa first term ya Jubilee.
Meanwhile, Azimio principals have refuted claims that the handshake between President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga is to blame for the harsh economic times currently witnessed in the country.
Kama unajua kwako kuna wizi, na unajua Uhuru amejua kuna wizi kwako, na ameficha hajatueleza wazi kinagaubaga. Wewe ukimguza tunauliza Rais Uhuru, sasa fungua milango tujue wizi wa Ruto wote. He wants a square war on corruption. Let us see how clean he is.
While Odinga stormed Siaya County, his running mate Martha Karua was in Kiambu and Kirinyaga counties, preparing for Raila's visit. She took a swipe at Ruto, accusing him of being disrespectful to his boss Uhuru Kenyatta.
Ni muhimu kwa mazingira yetu, iwe ni group, iwe ni wapi, hata kwa mkutano kama hii, heshima ni muhimu sana.
Paul Kirobi, TV47.
On to security matters, one person has been killed in Kaberbuk, Jilut area, Turkana County, after armed men staged an attack against a multi-agency patrol team. Security has been beefed up in the area as police launch probe into the matter. And as Lucky Heriano reports, police in Turkana County have arrested 4 people, among them 2 minors aged 13 and 11, following a botched robbery incident in the area.
One person has died after 2 armed gunmen staged an attack against a multi-agency patrol team at Kaberbok, Jilut area in Turkana County. Police say the 2 armed men on motorbike ambushed the police officers, killing 1 person on the spot. Police have since launched a probe into the matter, still in Turkana County, and police have arrested 4 suspected highway robbers among the 2 minors. The 4 are Eyanan Epai Longin, 24 years old, Loren Kalulu, 18 years, and the 2 minors aged 11 and 13 are in police custody and awaiting arraignment. The police recovered 2 AK-47 rifles and 13 rounds of ammunition. The suspects were arrested this morning in a botched robbery eastern on Kitale-Lodwar Highway. Lucky Heriano reporting for TV47.
Now, police in Buruburu area here in Nairobi are holding a middle-aged woman after she was arrested selling counterfeit liquor to unsuspecting Kenyans. The woman was busted at her home in Umoja Estate here in Nairobi. It is alleged the suspect brews her own liquor, then packages it in bottles that have labels of well-known liquor brands. Chepto Boyd with more.
Police officers from the Buruburu police station have today arrested a woman who has allegedly been selling counterfeit liquor to unsuspecting Kenyans. The suspect, Glory Kathure Murungi, was arrested in a rental house in Umoja, fully stocked with liquor and different packaging bottles.
No, pay attention, please. Ngojea tumalizane. Vipo vodka. Sio? Alafu tumechukua 24 pieces of bottles, measuring 250 mils. Kibao.
Murungi is said to have been brewing her own liquor and packaging them in these bottles, selling them to residents within Nairobi and Ukambani regions, with Matu and Yatta residents being the biggest consumers of the home-made product. These seals bearing KRA logos are what she uses on the bottle caps after packaging. The police stormed into the premises in Umoja Estate where the woman has been staying for the past 1 month. Police managed to recover 720-litre jerrycans full of ethanol, 6 boxes of assorted liquor, 130 boxes of empty bottles, and 2 rolls of KRA seals. The officers, who did not want to speak on camera, have thanked members of the public for tipping them, further asking them to work hand in hand with the police to ensure crime is reduced in the country. Chepto Boyd, TV47, Nairobi.
Thank you, Boyd, for that report. Now on to health matters. As the world grapples with the COVID-19 pandemic, health experts in the country have called for stronger health systems and accelerated investment in the sector to better handle pandemics that may arise in future. And as Elizabeth Atieno now reports, strong disease surveillance systems and building capacity of vaccine manufacturers are some of the crucial interventions suggested by experts to hasten the development of the health sector.
The outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic unearthed many emergency health challenges across the globe. For instance, it has since been discovered that Africa continues to shoulder the largest burden of endemic diseases in the world.
And if that outbreak becomes widespread beyond that small community, then it becomes an epidemic. And if it now goes beyond multiple countries, it becomes a pandemic.
This brings to focus the urgent need to address the underinvestment abound in Africa's health sector, especially the pharmaceutical sector, as the continent is still struggling to expand rollout of the COVID-19 vaccines, which has so far been administered to only 17% of the population. In a bid to curb these challenges, health experts have intensified calls for proactive actions against pandemic mitigation at the local and international level to save both lives and livelihoods.
That if you're going to be prepared for pandemics, then it means you must be able to avoid outbreaks. You must be able to identify disease threats that turn into outbreaks very early.
Health experts are emphasizing on the need to be vigilant to avoid losing on the gains made since 2020 in surveillance and public health response capacity for COVID-19.
Really, we cannot afford not to have the approach of One Health. What that means is that we cannot leave any of the pillars behind. So if it comes to investment, we have to ensure that all the pillars are well resourced.
Amref Health Africa Group CEO Dr. Githinji Gitai now warns that COVID-19 is just a tip of the iceberg, as many pandemics are likely to arise in future. Hence the need for Kenya to work with international markets to scale up pharmaceutical capacity.
There's nothing that is called a pandemic from ground zero. So there are several layers then to think about. If you're going to be pandemic prepared, you must be outbreak prepared.
These interventions come at a time when the country is still recording high COVID-19 numbers. Today, 297 people have tested positive for the disease from a sample size of 3,100 tested in the last 24 hours, rising the country's positivity rate to 9.4%. Elizabeth Atieno, TV 47.
Moving on, coffee farmers around the country are poised to see a profitable income for their produce following the introduction of new regulations that will cut out middlemen. Embu Senator Njeru Nduiga said the new regulations mean farmers can now negotiate prices for their produce with potential buyers, unlike in the past when they lost control of their produce once they handed it over to millers who were also marketing agents. Nduiga said the regulations are a great relief to farmers who will now have better earnings.
Close to 15 tons.
Sheria ambayo tulipitisha, regulation hizo tulipitisha, mbunge ile ilitengenezwa na commission ya coffee reforms, na ile bill ambayo Senate imetengeneza wakati huu, hiyo ndio inafanya mapandiriko ipatikane kwa kahawa. Ndio tumeanza sasa kuona wanunuzi wa kahawa, wale wanapiga mabiashara ya kahawa ulimwengu yote, saa hii wanakuja kununua kahawa kwa mkulima.
That's why I'm here now, how I can help farmers to increase their profit and how I can buy coffee from them directly.
조금 더 폭넓게 자리매김할 것입니다.
The coffee I buy from the farmers will be sell and it will be open the market in Korea.
Mungu ametembea kwetu kupitia hawa wageni, sababu sisi ni wageni, sisi ni wakulima ambaye tunajua kulima. Kwa hivyo kama vile wametuahidi ndivyo watafanya, hebu tutaendelea.
Now it's time to get sporty, as a team of 29 junior athletes has been selected by Athletics Kenya to represent the country in the upcoming World Athletics Under-20 Championships after emerging victorious in their respective races in the World Under-20 Athletics Championships trials held at the Nyayo National Stadium. 1,500-meter race champion Purity Chepkirui will be competing in the championships for a second successive year after securing victory in her category in a time of 4 minutes and 8.08 seconds. Faith Cherotich in the 3,000-meter steeplechase also made a cut alongside the 800-meter race champion Noah Kibet, while 400-meter bronze medalist Sylvia Chelangat, Samuel Kefadhi in the 5,000-meter race, among other athletes. Speaking after the race, Athletics Kenya President Jackson Tuwei stated that the federation is looking to nurture the junior athletes to continue the Kenyan legacy in the sport and completely eradicate the doping menace.
We are still fighting this thing, I can assure you. We have fought it all along, and we are still fighting it because we have not overcome that challenge yet, and that is why we are still in category A, and we will not want to be in category A just because of things that can be avoided. So we all need to avoid this, not only the athletes, all of us, including you and me, and all the athlete support personnel.
Moving on, the Kenya Basketball League progressed earlier today as Faisal Aden scored 14 points to help Equity Dermas defeat Zitex Sparks with scores of 77-58 at the Nyayo Stadium Indoor Arena. Zitex Sparks started the match on a strong foot as both sides drew level in the third quarter on 14 points each, with Simon Rupodo tallying 13 points for Sparks in the losing effort before Dermas made a comeback back to secure the much-needed victory. Sparks had, however, earlier in the day defeated Storms with scores of 52-28, while Snipers thrashed the Blazers with scores of 53-44. Speaking after the match, Zetech Sparks head coach Maurice Obilo expressed his disappointment over his team's defeat, however adding that his developing squad is rectifying its mistakes and keen to fight until the last minute.
I think it was a good win for us. It gives us confidence moving to the next game.
We made some rotations that were really costly, but I think the boys are building up. Last time we didn't score very well. We didn't play very good defense, and we will be working on it. So we'll be ready to play much better, I think, from the next game.
Now, Trailblazers earlier today secured their first ever playoff berth in the Kenya Volleyball Federation National League after defeating Nairobi Prisons in sets of 3-1 in the penultimate game of the regular season. Nairobi Prisons started the match on a strong foot and dominated the first set. However, Trailblazers remained resilient and made a scintillating comeback to win the remaining sets. Meanwhile, Kenya Ports Authority thrashed Administration Police in sets of 3-0. Similar results posted by General Service Unit in their match against Kenya Forest Service. GSU, Kenya Prisons, KPA and Trailblazers are the 4 teams that qualified into the playoffs of the competition, slated to progress in the subsequent weeks.
We enjoyed the game. We were relaxed a little bit because we knew we were going to win anyway, but they took advantage and they played well. But we came back and recovered and took the game.
On to peace matters in sports. Hundreds of Kenyan sports enthusiasts gathered in Eldoret town to take part in the Inter-County Aerobics and Gymnasium Challenge that aims at promoting peace during this electioneering period. The challenge that drew participants from various parts of the country saw Kenyans engaging in different fitness activities as they were sensitized on the importance of promoting cohesion and shunning away tribalism. Speaking after the aerobics challenge, Rupa Gymnasium manager Simran Maru stated that the event accomplished its purpose, bringing people together through sports, adding that more similar events should be held all around the country.
I think our event was extremely successful today. We have managed to get over 500 people coming today to celebrate peace and cohesion right before our election period. We decided to hold an inter-county event for the sake of promoting now what we want cohesion to happen and how we want it to happen within all the counties, especially here in Eldoret.
Sisi tuna preach peace hii time ya election. Hiyo ndio message tunapatia wananchi. Natumia sports ku preach peace